Ankita describes herself. After several failed attempts to understand life, she decided to make a poem of it. But it still lacks structure, has very little rhythm, with some words that misfit. And although it seems to look like a few words, she is going to assume she created a new style. Besides that, she loves poetry. And when she is not writing one, she is wondering why. This is the part.
Okay, so I think there's this one part which might need a reference or an explanation. Infanticide is very prevalent in India. There's this one practice that has been going on for a long time. How they kill the girl child is by putting a newborn baby, by putting her inside an earthen pot for that. So that's one reference that is there in the poem, so I just want to make it clear to those who don't know. It's called The Start. When she screamed, it echoed. As if the scream wasn't just hers but of many women. It wasn't a cry for help. It was the roar of Kali. Kali that slays the head with a sword in her hand. This one's to the lawmakers, the lawbreakers, the egotists, the hopeful, the hopeless, the cynics. This one's for the people who are quick to contemplate what she could have, should have done. This one's to every one of their lost, harrowed, mistaken concerns. This one's for humanity, if it's still around. This one's for every girl that has ever been held down. This one's to the carnivorous tree of rape that's stretching out its branches, taking her in, tearing her apart. This one's an effort to go down to its roots, to tell you where does it all start. It starts when they snatch away her dreams, which she cradled in her little arms, and put them inside an earthen pot while she calls out to God like a forget-me-not. It starts when that pot full of milk and her dreams is closed tight and rolled over and over and over till the milk turns into curd, till her dreams suffocate and die just like her little sister. It starts when they drag her and lock her inside a dark room, calling her a fool every time she follows her brother to school. It starts when they kill her if she falls in love, or falls out of love, or just never loved him at all. It starts when they trade her for honor, call it marriage, make her a commodity. It starts when they let him pull her hair, smash her head onto the wall, and turn oblivious to her fading heartbeat. It starts when they still don't say a word at the sight of her lifeless body hanging from the ceiling fan, or to her screams that still echo from the walls of her hangman. It starts when she's supposed to stay in her limits. It starts when they won't accept that her limits extend beyond the sky. It starts when they build their egos on false premise. It starts when she's supposed to feel her life is a chance, a debt, a mistake. It starts when they instruct her through life, lowering her body towards the grave. It starts when they warn her not to look him in the eye, or tell her you should have never abused him back. It starts when they blame her clothes, or her hair, or her very confidence to walk into a wrecked old mill on a gloomy evening, or her getting distracted because she was reading, or talking on the phone, or breathing. It starts when their faces turn blue, when they let tears fall from their eyes, when they shake their head and make them know that they wanted a boy. Because a girl is just lesser. A girl is just lesser than a boy. It starts when they say things like you cannot get out of the house, or you cannot be out so late, or that dress is too small, or you are not a boy, or hush, it was just your fate. Because they are actually saying you're a girl. That's your downside. You need to be on a leash. You cannot think, work, decide, suggest, provide, that we only take care of you because you're weak, that we only guide you because you're too vulnerable, that they only rape you because you are so destructible, that you can be broken into little pieces like a pretty doll. It starts when they make a rule book titled "1,001 Things a Girl Must Do." It starts when they teach her everything and him nothing. This one's to the people who never ponder how tightly the rules are holding on to them, or how tightly they are holding on to it, giving it all the strength it ever needs. When you are done dictating how women should be behaving, when you're done comparing which cities are safer, when you're done cursing the law, the lawmakers, when you're alone and you read what happened to you, just know it starts way before you think it does. It starts somewhere around you, somewhere inside us. So do not tell her what she could have, should have done, because you might be the reason for every war she rose up to fight but never won. Because it takes nothing except a callous heart for easy explanations to dwell, that do not ask for a change in you, that only demand a change in someone else. When she screamed, it echoed, as if the scream wasn't just hers but of many women. It wasn't a cry for help. It was the roar of Kali. Kali that slays the head with a sword in her hand, because it all starts in here.
Meenakshi by Soumya Prasad. Soumya is, okay, I'm moving to her. Soumya calls herself a lioness, green tea holic, writer, reader, animal lover, baker, hopeless romantic, fashion addict, style critic, foodie, travel enthusiast, poetess, sarcasm Nazi, black lover, and, well, if you haven't figured it out, a narcissist. So, Meenakshi by Soumya Prasad, read out by Ankita Shah. I think it's perfunctory now.
Use big words.
Like a person who says perfunctory.
First word.
Her eyes show me the light of the day. The crescent of her lips sings for my soul. Her long black tresses show me there is hope. Her being by my side makes me feel whole. Simi reread these lines before she shut the door. This would make any woman feel beautiful and loved, she told herself. Sigh. He was awesome. Every word he wrote seemed to mesmerize her. She reread each of his words several times a day. His words were simple, but they oozed feelings. This was the first time she felt love, that peaceful, serene feeling inside. Every written word spoke to her, and many times she shed a tear, feeling the emotion. The rhymes caressed her and tickled her body. She did not know what it was, but she was in love with it. She looked forward to his magic every week. She lived for it. His poetry made love to her, and she lived on thinking that he was her lover. Week after week, month after month. Today, she put her feeble hand in mine. I held her tight, never wanting to let go. She looked up and asked if I believed something. I felt her smile on my chest as I said no. Simi did not know how he looked. She did not know what kind of a person he was. He was a magician to her, who weaved magic with words. He was her knight in shining armor, who rescued her from the dark. He was her reason to wake up every day, and every Monday was her reason for living. His verses appeared every Monday in the local magazine. It had been about 3 months now, and Simi had lost herself in his words. She'd called the local magazine to find out something about him, but they had no information. They said that he sent them his work via email, and they were not authorized to disclose his email address. There she stood by the nearby pond, soaking the sunset with her skin. She turned and came rushing to me, brushed my cheek before kissing my chin. Simi wanted to meet him, to talk to him. She wanted to read his mind and see how much of a genius he is. She wanted to kiss his fingers that wrote these words. She wanted to hold her and recite her favorite verses. She wanted to ask him, whom does he talk about in her verses? She wanted to tell him that she was jealous of his muse. She wanted to beg him to write something for her, about her. If not anything else, she just wanted to look at her and die. All she had was a name, Ansh. Ansh, who was the most vital part of her today. Her laugh intoxicates my heart. Her touch makes me feel alive. She is my reason for being. In her love, I seem to thrive. Simi felt a strong pang of jealousy. Who was she whom he spoke about? Was she his wife, his lover, his mistress? She can't be as beautiful as he describes her to be. Simi hated her for reasons obvious, yet unknown. She wanted to be her, in words and in reality. She wanted to be a part of Ansh. She wanted to see him, to show him that she was beautiful. She wanted to prove to him that she can trigger poetry too. She wanted him all for herself, just for herself. The next Monday, Simi rushed to her doorstep to collect the magazine. Grabbing it, she ran into her room and shut the door. She flipped straight to the last second page where his verses always appeared. Today, a story stared back at her. She looked at the bottom of the page. Kamal, it said. A fear gripped her. She hurriedly browsed all the pages from front to back, no glimpse of any verse, no mention of Ansh. Her heart seemed to crack as tears welled up in her eyes. It had ended just like the way it had begun. Suddenly, she slowly walked up to her drawer and pulled out a bunch of papers tied together by brown twine. She read each page again and wailed out loud, expecting her screams to reach Ansh. She did not want anything more. All she wanted was for him to know that she will miss him. Miles away, Ansh sat on a boulder by the sea, scribbling into his notebook. There was a bright smile on his face as he paused between two words to complete his sonnet. A national monthly magazine had approached him to write for him, and he wanted his first work there to be a masterpiece. He did not have to try much, he knew. He had the most beautiful woman by his side, who evoked poetry and passion. All he had to do was to let it flow. He heard the shines of an anklet behind him and turned around. There she came and touched his right shoulder. He felt his body lose control. She always had this effect on him. Her bright eyes tapered perfectly like a fish tail. Whoever had named her perfectly. She kissed his cheek and sat next to him and let the wind blow through her hair. Ansh had met her 3 months ago at the railway station. It was the sound of her laugh that attracted him. Day by day, their conversations grew, and soon Ansh asked her to come home to live with her. She had agreed, and today she had given him all possible happiness he could ask for. She thought that Ansh was the one who had saved her, but for Ansh, she was his lifeline, his reason for living. He put his arms around her and rubbed her right hand, which ended at a slant elbow. He turned to her side, lifted her charred skin, looked into her sole eye, and kissed the remnants of her cheek. His lips brushed her jaw, and they both laughed. This always happened. Ansh did not think twice before including her in his life. He was in love with her. The fact that she was an acid attack victim did not bother him, nor did the fact that she had to beg to survive after she was abandoned by her parents. All that mattered to him was her. Her zest for life inspired him, in spite of all that she had been through. She taught him to accept life and then start living. He would remain indebted to her all his life. He shut his book and held her close to him. The sun slowly set as he helped her cover her face with her veil. In the dim light, he looked at her and felt pure happiness inside. Meenakshi, the one who made his words flow and who made him want to live.